Welcome, horror fam, to HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Duff, and as always, I'm here with my co host, Jess and Jonathan. Exciting week.
Hee hee hee. Hoo, hoo,
He's
hoo.
back.
No, it's Kiki.
Well, I'm
Oh.
excited, so it's hee hee hee. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Oh, that works. Anyways, before we get into that, you know what it is. Our social media is Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365, our TikTok at HHN365pod. Go give us a follow on all those outlets. Our Discord, where we discuss horror nights year round. You can find the link in the description. It's a great server. We have merch over at HHN365.com. And if you want to leave us a voicemail and be on the show, that's 407 906 4134. And on today's show, of course, we are talking about the announcement of Jason Universe, I guess, is the official title for our house coming to Halloween Horror Nights. But regardless, Jason Voorhees makes his return to Horror Nights, and we're excited.
We have a lot to talk about.
We have
I'm
a lot to talk
saving it.
about.
I'm saving it.
But before we get to that, we did want to thank you guys for joining us for our most recent YouTube Live. Just took place yesterday from when you're hearing this episode, potentially. If you did not join us live, that is going to be available for replay on our YouTube, as are all of our YouTube Lives. So go check that out and join us next week if you can. But before we get to the main segment, let's go over a bit of news first. Starting over in Las Vegas. So
What?
yeah,
We
I
haven't
know,
talked about
right?
that in a while.
For good reason. So Universal Horror Unleashed signage went up. So this looks like it's kind of their main display billboard, if you will, because it's not like a traditional like signage. It's definitely more billboard esque
Mhm.
in the way it's used. But it's a picture of an aerialist and Jack the Clown behind the aerialist, and it's a little uh, boring. It's not
Yeah.
HHN, and the event is not HHN. To be fair, it's not. But something feels off.
It feels like Vegas. It doesn't feel like Halloween Horror Nights, but I guess, we've always said that's kind of what this is going to be. That's what they seem to be, that's the crowd they're looking for. They're not looking for people like us for the most part who go to live in Orlando or in Hollywood and go to the event every year. Like, we're that's not, I really don't think that's the main market here. It's for people in Vegas who want to do something, and this is an option for them to do and hopefully draws them to it. And I think for most people, an aerialist is going to be more interesting than Jack. Because we like Jack, but I don't know. I don't know if he's that big of a draw for the people they're looking for.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think that that's a good point because I think it makes it even funnier the comment I said before we started about how it looks like nightmare fuel to me because I'm looking at it as an HHN Orlando fan and local, not as like what would they market to Vegas. And I guess that makes a lot more sense, but I don't know. It's kind of corny. And then when I look at it, like it's Jack, and like you said, we love Jack, but a lot of people call him Pennywise when they don't know who he is. So now I just see that and I'm like, oh, it's just more people are gonna get the it escape room experience than confused with the horror unleashed thing. So I don't know. We'll see. But I will say, my sister surprised me with a story about she went to see Ice Nine Kills in New Orleans, which I know that's closer to obviously us, that's in the South, but there was like multiple people in full HHN outfits talking about like Jack the Clown's going to be the icon this year for Orlando. And she was like, what the fuck? Like, this feels like home. It's a little too familiar. So, like, there are people out there that are just like us and
It's
people
just
that
True.
travel.
it's true.
So, I don't know. I kind of forget that this is even a thing, to be honest, now.
Which kind of brings us to a point that came up on our YouTube live from last week. Um, uh, is this starting to like die out? Any hype for Horror Unleashed, especially now that real HHN announcements are coming? Because it felt like for a while it was the big talk as it was going vertical and we're getting announcements about it. And now that we're really getting into actual HHN announcement season, it seems like nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that way. And honestly, I think the biggest thing is that all of the houses they're gonna have, or yeah, they're calling them houses. All the big things they're gonna have are kind of just repeats. I mean, they're all repeats except, maybe their version of Monsters will be a little different. Maybe they'll go a different take with it, but everything they've announced is something we've seen. And one of the things that they're going to have, Scarecrow the Reaping, is literally going to be at Hollywood the same year. So it's hard to get hype for something, even though everything actually at the, besides the houses is new, their whole immersive areas. It seems like it's all going to be a new thing. There's special bars. But yeah, with everything being sort of repeats, it's hard to get excited when there's literal announcements happening right now of new things that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, HHN is the event that we love and recognize more. So it was going to get dwarfed no matter what, I think. It's just kind of crazy how it's almost fully disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
But again, it's not mainly for us. It's for tourists, specifically in Las Vegas. So
yeah, it's really wasn't for us.
no, I feel like in discussions we forget about that sometimes. To be honest, that like this is not Halloween Horror Nights. They do
No.
not name it that. It's a separate experience made for a different demographic.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's going to do great during when we were young, though.
Oh yeah. But I think we can move on from Vegas now and go just a several-hour drive over to Hollywood, where we do have some HHN Hollywood construction. Of course, this is from our Hollywood correspondent, Kevin. Um, there's a few interesting things. I think most of what we see is kind of what we've been seeing and expecting to develop, aka Poltergeist, Scarecrow,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we know. However, a few additional things to note. Um, if you go over to what's this location called? This
This is
is
Soundstage
Soundstage 15.
15.
Thank you. Yes, Soundstage 15. This was spotted from the tram tour. You kind of get a little peek behind the doors there, and it looks like a structure that would be on the left-hand side of what would be the facade of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has kind of erected now. It is tough to fully see what's going on because you don't get a clear look into the soundstage. But this matches up pretty well to a structure that you would be able to just pick out specifically from Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Yeah. What I like to say is if you see a big circle and Kevin sees a little structure and circles another area and says it's the same thing, then it's the same thing. And Kevin's right. So I think his theory about this being Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, pizzeria or pizza, whatever it's called, is probably true considering this is where it's rumored to be already on the Horror Night Nightmare spec map. And I think it kind of unfortunately makes sense that this property would be in this soundstage.
See, you say kind of unfortunately, but to be completely honest, especially in Hollywood, with their limited space and tents, I think it needed either Soundstage 15 or UBE.
It needs it.
So I
Yeah.
think for me, for this to succeed, there are a lot of things, but I think the biggest part, I need to be fully immersed.
Mhm.
Fully immersed. I don't think this works without doing that. So walking into a full scale Freddy Fazbear Pizza, I think that's a great start.
Yeah. No, I agree. If this wasn't in a soundstage, or in their soundstage, because there's only one now, I would be terrified. This makes me a little bit more excited, and in Kevin we trust. So I believe him on everything except the WWE theory. That's it. And I second guess myself a lot on that one because I believe him so much.
To be fair, Kevin doesn't even fully believe himself on that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Feel a little less bad, but I can't wait to find out who's right on that one.
Yeah, it's for this particular one for FNAF. I understand why it needs to be in the soundstage. Like you need to, like, especially with the costumes and stuff, you need actual air conditioning. You cannot put this in one of the outside tents where there's no air conditioning. You can't do that. It's not good for the actors. So like in that sense, in the scale and what there would be in here, it needs to be in here. I'm just personally salty because I'm not excited for this property and it's going in like the big location. And I'm like, So that's why I was sort of like, unfortunately, but it also, either UB8 or this, they both work. They're both kind of the same in different aspects. It does make sense why it's here. I just, you know, they only have a couple of sound stages every year, and we're losing a sound stage, even though that wasn't really a sound stage last year. They used like no portion of it for Eternal Bloodlines. I'm just salty that it's this particular property because of personal bias.
I get it.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
But we can also move over to the Parisian Courtyard, where we've previously talked about Kevin's theory that this is basically another mausoleum to carry on the Monstrose tradition, but a fancier one, if you will. Um, and honestly, it's just looking more and more like that every time we get an update. It's really starting to get details now. It doesn't look old and worn like the ones in the past have been. It definitely looks like it belongs to some of importance. You know, it looks fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a great end to the Monstrose trilogy. Let's not make any more. This is a great way to end it. We started off with an old, poor mausoleum, now ending off with the fancy one, and this is it. This is the final one. No more Monstrose.
But what if?
Oh.
Really wishful thinking, Jonathan, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
Marty's going to beat this into the ground until there's nothing left, which, I mean,
Kind of already happening?
yeah, I'm hopeful. I think that I was watching a walkthrough of the last two, I think yesterday. And like you can very obviously see, like just go back and look at pictures of them. Like this one just has so much more detail already, and like that's probably just primer, but it just looks so nice. So I'm
Mhm.
excited to see like hopefully the story, like maybe it is like the end of the trilogy and like the story that we've been told with the facades is happening. I don't know. Maybe that is death. I just want this to be the last one, please.
Fingers crossed.
I hope.
It's funny because if you go back to like when this was first announced, like the first ever Monstrose at I think it was at the panel they announced it at Midsummer. We all were like, "This is gonna be the coolest thing ever," and we were so excited, and it was like it was very good when it first happened. And at this point, we're all like, "Please, please stop. We don't want any more."
I really liked the first one. I really did.
Hmm.
I even enjoyed ours over here. But it's like the Yeti. What do we call it?
Yeti syndrome.
Yeah, Yeti syndrome. Like it's just kind of starting to do that, and I'd rather just focus on one. Just focus on one character and make the whole house that, and I'll be a little bit more excited. I think, or the Isle of the Dolls, like what's been rumored.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Could be so easy.
Yeah,
Oh well, maybe next year.
maybe.
Monstrose 4. No.
Oh,
Ew. And then I will say, Mummy Q, the facade has gotten quite a bit of detail. However, that's going to tie in directly to our main segment, so we're going to hold that for just a bit. Um, so let's go back to a previous house announcement that we've received, and that, of course, is Fallout. Um, on the Orlando side of things, this is on us. We kind of missed it. It was already notated, and we just forgot to talk about it. Our bad. In that announcement video, there were daisies spotted in that video, and that was very likely. Obviously, Orlando has not confirmed locations yet, but the rumored house location for Fallout was nicknamed Daisy. So that's fun, right?
Yeah. And Daisy, for people who don't know, is tent 4 on the permits. So it's seeming like Orlando is giving a wink, wink, nudge, nudge that Fallout will be in tent 4 this year. And the people who might think, oh, that might be a coincidence. Well, we'll talk about it. But the new announcement trailer for Jason has the same thing in terms of code
mm-hmm.
names and where the flowers are. So this is very deliberate. We're probably getting these in every announcement video we get, and so this isn't confirming the locations. Like Orlando won't officially confirm it till we see the portals, but it kind of is. Just it is kind of confirming where it is. So like when we make tweets with like saying where things are, it's because of these code names in in the trailers. But do we think? I think we sort of discussed this last time, but I want to bring it up again. Do we think Tent 4, which is in the new tents they built, is a good location for Fallout for Orlando?
Yes.
I think it works. Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
that puts crowds for IPs in the back of the park is going to be great.
I think so too. That's something
Mhm.
we were discussing like a while ago. We wanted a big IP, whether it be Terrifier, whether it be Fallout, which is seems like the case now, to be back here to spread out the crowds, and I think it's a wonderful idea. The only thing I'm worried about is that something I really want for this house in terms of the queue is I want music playing in it. I want all the music from the show, just sort of getting you into that vibe, maybe putting little trailers or videos for propaganda videos for the Pip Boy and stuff like that, and the company. But I'm worried if they're even going to be able to do that here, because last year they had projections behind the sort like when you're standing sort of behind you by the MIB on the projected MIB building with all the commercials, and that's all you heard when you were
Mhm.
in lines for those tents. And as much as I'd think maybe they'd hold off on that because they want people to experience like Fallout and get immersed for it, part of me also thinks they're not going to, and they're just going to do it anyways. And so that's a fear I have for this particular location in terms of the queue experience.
Yeah, I don't expect music to be played throughout the queue. I think
Yeah.
best case scenario, to be honest, is they pump it from the facade. So like as you get close, you start to get that experience, but that's about it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That is kind of unfortunate, but I mean, maybe they throw a curveball and they do project it on the building. I don't know.
You'd have to reroute the queue a little bit then. Well, a
Yeah.
lot bit actually.
What's the house that's rumored to be next to it?
Ooh. Oh,
Um,
wasn't it the
Is it
the
is it
storybook
Oh, it's not
snow?
yes,
Hatchet.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
I was saying if it was Hatchet and Chains, then they could just the music could kind of just be westerny, but that's not convenient. Never
Nope,
mind.
nope.
Well, I just think that I think that it's going to work in here. I just hope that they use the whole tent. I know I talk about that a lot. I don't like how they utilized those new tents last year.
Mhm.
The houses felt very small, and like you kind of walked out and you would see massive spaces that weren't used. And I think that this property needs that whole space.
Hmm. And it's a space that clearly they can get the scale they need.
Yeah.
I think a soundstage may be a safer bet, but obviously they dictate that based off how they design the house. So
Yeah.
clearly they think it's enough. We'll see. I think I do like the spot it's in, again, spreading out the crowds, and also these new sprung tents. They are massive, so it can work.
There's space, and they didn't have to waste time building the tent this year. I
Hmm.
don't.
Yeah,
What is it? The tents were just put up. Wasn't it early July or like late June? They were finally both
mm,
put up.
Around
I,
there, I
I want to
think.
say yeah, it was in June. I think they were like completed.
Yeah, and it was like we were kind of worried. Like, when are these tents gonna be ready? Because there's nothing on this plot of land, and they popped up like in 2-3 days, and they finally were done. But like that's late for house construction, because they usually start pretty early. But now that they don't have to worry about that part of it, I really do think these two tents, particularly Fallout, are going to be a lot more elaborate and be filled a lot more because they don't have to worry about not having enough time to get the detail they want out of it.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I again, I'm hopeful. I think this is a good location, and what I expect these locations to be moving forward. But we'll see. Maybe it's just gonna be like last year, and if it'll feel like they aren't utilizing the space to its full potential.
Don't put that out there, Duff. Don't
I'm,
do it.
I'm just saying it's possible.
Boo.
I mean, we there could be something about it we don't understand why it was like that.
It's true.
So
But are we ready to move on to Hollywood for in terms of Fallout news?
let's do it.
Yeah. This was confirmed by. This isn't a Murdy tweet segment yet, but this was confirmed by a Murdy tweet. But John Murdy came out of hibernation on his vacation to just say, "Oh, by the way, Fallout was announced. It's located in the UBE venue. Okay, bye." Um, That's basically all he had to say about Fallout. In terms of tweeting. But yeah, we now have confirmation that is where it's going to be in the Ube venue. That's the correct way of
Thank you.
saying it.
Thank you.
So yeah, do we think this is a good location for Fallout in Hollywood? And I think I know everyone's answer.
I think it's literally the perfect location for Fallout in Hollywood.
Hmm.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah. It's thinking about how they did Quiet Place, and how actually immersive it was. I didn't love that house, but I'm not gonna lie that the outdoor scenes, the actual set pieces they have, were very immersive for a Hollywood house. So I think this is, if you're gonna do a property as difficult to do as Fallout, because this is probably one of the most difficult ones to translate in terms of how they do their set design, because a lot of Fallout's outside, and Hollywood, I don't think, knows how to do good outside scenes. But I think this location can give them what they need, to have actually decent ones. So I'm really hopeful for this location, actually.
And then also the setup for the like pre-show videos throughout the queue as well. This is
Hmm.
the property that works the best for that. So
Yeah.
very exciting all around.
We talked about on last week's episode, I think, how they recently installed TVs for the queue,
Mhm.
because of the Star Trek location, or the Star Trek experience at FanFest. And Murdy's like, keep those TVs. So that can make the queue experience even better by utilizing all of them in there.
Yeah, for sure. It's something we were excited about when it happened, and we kind of already knew it was Fallout. Now having it fully confirmed, it's like hell yeah. There's so much they could do with that for this property.
Yeah.
Well, is it time to move on to the main segment of today's show?
My boy.
Which I think
Yeah.
it's your boy, Jess. I'm gonna let you take it.
Wow. So, if you were living under a rock, Friday was Friday the 13th, and Horror Nights announced Jason Universe for both coasts. So, the house description is Jason Universe will take Halloween Horror Nights guests on a vengeance tour throughout the summer camp to see where it all began. From the creaking floorboards of Jason's ramshackle cabin to the decaying main lodge and the eerie forest that offers no refuge for his victims. Around every corner, fans will be inundated with infamous killer moments from Jason's heinous homicidal career. God damn it. As he taunts and stalks his victims who learn too late that the legend is real. That was wordy.
That
Whew.
was wordy.
I don't even think I fully read that before I read it. Do you want to talk about the video or do you want to discuss the blurb?
Let's discuss the blurb a bit. First of all, also the name of the house is literally just Jason Universe.
It is.
Don't love that.
Mm-mm.
No.
Not
Don't
a
love
damn
that.
second. I don't like that at all.
It couldn't be like a Jason Universe tagline, like something attached to that. No, nothing.
Just
Nope.
what is this? Like, what do we even call Jason Universe? Like, what is it officially? Just a rebrand? Like, is that all it is? Or
I think it's making distinctions between the ownership of the property. So you have the Jason Universe now side, and then the other side is kind of like Camp Crystal Lake, Pamela Voorhees
Yep.
side. So,
mm,
um,
such an
yeah,
interesting house name.
When you look it up, it specifically the Jason Universe, there's an article from last year when it was first announced that Horror Inc. was doing this whole thing, and it is saying how the creator of Jason finally, after that long legal battle, got the rights back for Jason, and that's where
Mhm.
this is coming from, to honor his legacy in all of this without including Crystal Lake and Pamela.
Right. Which
Which
that's going to
sucks.
be, the Crystal Lake will be interesting because when we talk about the announcement video too. But
hmm but before we even get to that point, as you notice here in the blurb, it does not say Camp Crystal Lake.
no,
The summer camp.
the summer camp. Which
Yep.
one? The one.
Nondescript summer camp that Jason tends to spend his time at.
Diamond Pond. That's what I've been calling it. It's not Crystal Lake. Don't look over there. It's next door. It's interesting, and I mean, I think we're still going to see something in the house, like an Easter egg to it, but it's not going to be called Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Interesting.
weird.
As you mentioned, though, Jonathan, the announcement video makes that a little stranger. So I guess we can move on to that now. Um, so, like we mentioned for the Fallout video, we did spot um, daisies, right? There we go. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I was like, what was it? Oh, Jesus, I just talked about it. Daisies. Well, the code name Jasmine was for Fast and Furious. And guess what you see out the window? Jasmine trees.
Whoa.
Yep.
Amazing. So, leading us to believe that, as was rumored, and now that we're seeing a little bit more construction out of it too, this would be in the Fast and Furious location.
Jason Ultimate Kill Count. It's
Ugh.
time.
Juck.
Chuck.
Juck.
I do like the
Juck
the
that
code
cuck.
names. Oh my god. I do like the code names in these videos because, like, for me, as someone who missed like the good old years of like the social media and like the websites, it's fun to get the code names like called back to, because in the
Mhm.
last couple of years they've been very vocal about how they don't matter. It's
There
just
even
something that they do.
there were even insiders this year saying they don't matter.
Mhm.
There that early on, and we were the minute they said that, we're all like, nah, that's BS. They absolutely are gonna matter. And look, they're in the literal announcement videos now.
Yeah. Weirdo behavior, whatever.
Also, some other Easter eggs that pop up. The HHN 32 like main art poster, and then also a Pumpkin Guts VHS. I love
Yeah.
Pumpkin Guts representation. One of my
Yeah.
favorites from the original Slaughter Cinema.
It's interesting that we have a Slaughter Cinema Carrie Drive-In thing in both videos too,
Oh, we do, don't we?
We
because the
do.
takeout box in the Fallout video is Carrie Drive-In.
Hmm.
To be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if we got that with or without a potential Slaughter Cinema
Oh yeah,
sequel, spin-off, whatever you want to call it.
that is interesting though. I just realized that because I did not see the pumpkin guts. I've heard people talk about it, but it's the video's so dark I can't see it.
Mm.
You really have to enhance it and like up the brightness to really tell what it is. It's pretty difficult to see. But
Go ahead.
like, I wanted to bring this up because our Discord was talking about it, and I've talked about it from time to time. This is our second announcement video, and the first one we got was Fallout, and it kind of made sense from that perspective. Like, I was kind of always expecting the Fallout trailer to be sort of like a TV, and then playing, the propaganda and then stuff happening in the background like that. I always sort of expected that. But this one kind of established now that this is going to be a pattern. That the TV sort of setup was not just for Fallout; it's going to be for every announcement going forward this year. And how are we feeling about that? Do we like this structure compared to last year's that had like production and acting and like you know uh, just a really cool videos, or do we like how we're doing it now? Like, do we have any thoughts on this style of announcement?
Well, they also I don't know if they did it in the Fallout one, but after they did the little Jason segment, it said "See your favorite horrors come to life" or something like that. Like it was like watch your favorite something on the screen. It had something to
live
do with
the
that.
live the movies or
Yeah, it's
something,
like
or
live your movies come to
It
something like
directly
that.
says "live the horror" in it too. Like they
Yeah, yeah,
keep
yeah.
using that line. So
But it's like
Hmm.
it had something to do with like your favorites that you see on screen. So
yeah.
like that it is fully established now at this point in
Yeah.
like what they're saying and what we're seeing. I like it because it also plays into everything that's coming to the event that's rumored.
Hmm.
I like when they have high production. Like I really liked that. I don't remember what year it was. Was it 31 with like the tropes, the friend group?
Yep.
I really liked that. But I also really like this. There's like synergy. It's fun.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I like the general idea of what this is, and that it's all a consistent aesthetic and it really ties together. However, I will say the actual like announcement portion of it is a bit boring. Um, at the end of the day, like announcements don't matter to us. We're going regardless. They aren't to hype us up. I don't know what it's doing for the general public, but um, so I don't really care. What I care about is I just keep seeing this same like the like gothic stained glass intro every time, and I'm
Hmm.
very into that. And every time that continues, which I'm sure it will, I just get more excited about what the aesthetic of the event is going to be like.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do miss the videos from last year because I was very adamant in how like uninterested I was in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire at the time. But that video was really good and it kind of got me a little more excited than I think I would have ever been for that property because it was just really well done. Um, and I don't think I'm gonna have any of those feelings for these types of announcements. Like whatever I'm feeling about the IP is just gonna be how I'm feeling about it with the video because the video is just sort of a nothing. It's just exactly what you expect it to be. Um, but I understand. And honestly, in today's day of social media and the way everything works, you don't really need something as high production quality as the videos they've had before because as we can see by the numbers and the way things are looking, it's not really mattering in this case. Like hell, all FNAF did so far was post a tweet with a little picture of Freddy Fazbear Pizza, and it's gotten more views than anything in a while. So I understand the company perspective of we don't if we don't need to do something that takes all that time and effort and money and it still gets the same amount of views and people still watch it and it does the same thing, why would we want to do that again? You
Hmm.
know, why can't we just do this? And I kind of wonder if every announcement going forward is going to be something more akin to this than the high production they've had in the past.
So, realistically, you have a great point. If you are looking to draw people in with your announcements, it doesn't matter what the IP announcement looks like, it matters what the IP is.
Mhm.
However, for originals, if you're trying to draw the general public in, give us a cool fucking trailer for those again.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'd be totally okay with the swap. I'd actually kind of prefer it if they did it that way.
Hmm. I'd be fully down.
Oh,
Uh,
but
and
yeah.
and then also, of course, the big thing, the Camp Crystal Lake sign above the TV in this announcement video, but then being omitted from the blurb. Interesting. Where do we go with that?
Yeah.
I,
That's
I I'd
weird.
assume that's not in the blurb. That it's not really going to be in the house. Um, I'm sure legally putting this in a video as like a it's not an Easter egg. It's prominently featured, but like I'm sure that's under like fair usage, right? It has to be. Um, but it sounds like the house itself, no.
Yeah, I just think that they're gonna get away with it because it's like, no, it's just a set piece.
Hmm.
What are you
Mhm.
talking about? No, no, no. We just picked that. Oh, that's silly. Sorry, we won't do it again.
We're not actually going there. It's just a sign, guys.
Yeah.
So we're allowed to use this.
Jason left Crystal Lake. He's in like a whole other camp now.
Yeah, the
Diamond
summer
Pond.
camp.
The summer. I hope it's the exact same sign, but it just says the summer camp.
We should make a shirt
Please.
that just says the summer camp in the design of Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh, I think
That's
we just
actually
found our first
perfect.
shirt. Could it be bloody?
Sure,
Okay, well,
why not?
our first shirt. There we go. Uh,
Uh, but with that, I think that pretty much covers the announcement video, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to it.
Let's talk about the key art, which there's not much to talk about.
Nope.
It's basically just the Jason Universe logo laid out a bit different, slightly different look to it, but it's that new mask design with Jason Universe plopped over it. That that that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. Honestly, everything they've been given in terms of pictures and material that we'll talk about more later for this house is just the one thing they released for Jason Universe. That one little picture is just everywhere. So, some things have the whole picture, some things have the picture, but it's like done in a different art style or different colors. But everything is just that one picture they've released. And we have
Hmm.
no other we like Jess, correct me if I'm wrong, we have no other content from Jason Universe except that one picture so far, right?
Um.
It,
So they have released a couple NECAs, like new NECA figures that are
mhm.
gonna be coming out, and those are pretty cool. They're the new like Jason universe like honoring him, but like that's about it. So no, not much, but I I don't know. I'm not the most optimistic about this whole Jason universe thing. It just feels very I don't want to use the word desperate, but like I know that it was a really tough legal battle for a while. And like that's why we only got a lot of like generic hockey mask stuff, some Crystal Lake stuff. Like they towed the line on a lot of things, but like I don't want it to just be rushed because we couldn't use certain Jasons for so long and now we can. Like, let's make this matter. The NECA figure's cool, but like I'd rather them go back and like re-release some of the old NECA figures because like they did have all the Jasons at one point and now they're a little harder to find. Like I could keep going about this, but I just worry about the Jason universe and then it bleeding into the house and them like strong arming like we have to use new Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want that. I want all the Jasons. So he can be there, but I want every Jason.
Yeah, hopefully A&D is like, yeah, we'll include them. However, you're also gonna get our Jasons too.
Right. Because like it's kind of silly. Like are we going to talk about the merch? I assume we are.
Oh yeah, of course.
So yeah, I'll save my thoughts on that.
Real quick, let me just go through these blurbs from the Bloody Disgusting article. As we become accustomed to, these larger IPs are getting articles from larger outlets about them. This one was with interviews directly from Horror Inc. executives. Horror Inc. is the parent company of the Jason universe. So this first one is from their president, Robert Barsamian. For 45 years, Jason Voorhees has terrified and thrilled audiences globally. With Jason Universe at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, we're celebrating that legacy in an immersive way that honors the character's brutal mythology while giving fans the chance to experience it like never before. It's a visceral homecoming for one of horror's most enduring icons. And I will say, that definitely sounds like there should be inclusions of past Jasons and not just this new design.
Yeah. That's what I'm inferring to. And honestly, even though the I was thinking about it, even though the name is just the new, like that's what it's called, Jason Universe, that's what everything going forward is called. I think if I was a normal guest and I saw that name, I'd be like, "Oh, it's like a lot. It's like the universe of Jasons, just like a lot of different Jasons." And I
That's
wonder
true.
if maybe that's how one or both co sort of interpret that and go like, "All right, here's all the Jasons that we are allowed to use thrown in here," and that would be like the universe of Jasons.
The universe in you.
Exactly.
That's gonna be me walking through the house. No, I'm still very excited. That was just like my little Jason lover going, oh my god, I hope that there's only one of him, and like I really want every iteration, and I know that they can do that now, which is the beauty of it.
hmm
So I really just want to see a bunch of like Jason lives. That's my
Mhm.
dream.
And then with this next quote, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate because it definitely leans more into what Jason Universe is and kind of being its new own thing. And this is from Horror Inc.'s CMO Sherry Khan. Bringing Jason Voorhees to Halloween Horror Nights as an all original haunted house is a major moment for fans and for us. Jason Universe taps into 4 decades of horror legacy and reinvents it for a new generation, combining immersive storytelling and cinematic detail that only Universal Studios teams can deliver. This is more than a haunted house, it's a full on tribute to the one of the most iconic slashers in pop culture. And I'm not saying that means there will not be uh, like past iterations of Jason, but there are a few little tabs in here that I'm like, interesting choice of words, talking about the legacy and then saying they will reinvent it for this generation, and then also kind of calling it a tribute. Where I don't know, just the word choices leave me a little concerned about what we see.
Mm-hmm.
Both quotes kind of fight each other a little bit. That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. Again, it could just be reading too much into the word choices, but just to toss a little devil advocate. I cannot talk today. Jesus, just to ruin your day. How about that?
I had to read the fucking house description, and that was hard. I don't ever want to read that again.
But yeah, so 2 quotes. It kind of went different directions, both saying the same thing. We're excited to be here. Jason's huge. Horror Nights is great. Blah blah blah. What we usually get.
Big guys in a house. Big guys in a house. That's what we're getting. At the end of the day, I'm excited because it's gonna be like, I hope it's gonna be like as intense as like Scarecrow was with all the big bodies.
Hmm.
And like also kind of what I think Hollywood was trying to give with Leatherface last year. I just never had a great run
Mm-hmm.
because they're big boys, but I'm so excited for that. Scare
Yeah.
me.
The big people, like big scare actors that are towering over you are some of the scariest uh scares that I can get. It absolutely puts me on the floor when one of them either runs after me or they're big, like just it's scary. It really is scary and frightening. And so if this whole house is just a bunch of giant, like Jason's trying to, slash or whatever he does, that would, I mean, it'd be scary. I think it'd be a house that, especially in the location that it's rumored to be in, Fast and Furious, in that tight space, I think I will get wrecked in here.
Hmm. I could see that for sure.
S- s- Something I did also want to bring up, the last announcement that we got, which was, well, technically Five Nights at Freddy's 2 had this. So I guess the last two announcements that we got, we had a lot of discussion from the creatives, the creators, for Hollywood and Orlando, about what to expect to see in this house, this and that. They give a lot of hype, they give a lot of detail. This one, we didn't really get any of that. The only people hyping it up right now seem to be the people running Jason Universe. And not that that means anything, because I don't think every house announcement gets sort of the same treatment. Um, but it is a little worrisome to me. Um, but I might really just be overthinking it. Also, it's just a case that Murdy's on vacation. He's not going to give his excitement I kind of want to see for Fallout and this,
Hmm.
what he has to say, because we can get a good idea about, at least on Hollywood's coast, how good a house is going to be from what Murdy says and how he feels about it. But I don't know. It's the announcing it on a Friday, which I get, it was like Friday the 13th, but that's not generally a great news day. To not having any discussion from the creators about it, that's making me a little worried, but it also could mean nothing, and I'm absolutely overthinking it too.
Yeah, I'd say don't worry about that yet. I think the Friday thing was very specific for yeah, Friday the 13th, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the Murdy thing, he made it very clear he will not be tweeting as things happen. He did his pricking of the thumbs thing after the announcement, so
Mm-hmm.
God.
like he's kind of come in when he can, but obviously his time's limited until he gets back home, which I believe he said it's like happening like this week or something.
I think
So
so.
I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about it soon. And
Yeah.
then again, let's see, Midsummer Scream. Maybe he'll like rave about this house. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe this is his favorite house.
It's possible. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about it yet. It's just the situation for both sides of things, the announcement schedule and Murdy.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Murdy with a slasher. Like that does not make me worry. I worry about Murdy with WWE.
Yeah. The thing is, I do think this house, like my assumption in my head is that this is Hollywood's house. Hollywood wants this. Just based on the location Jason's in right now, I'm kind of worried this is something Orlando doesn't want, but maybe they do. It's just I'm having Chucky syndrome, because I made a joke about old Jason Ultimate Kill Count, but I'm gonna be honest. Throwing him in Fast and Furious, because my friend was talking, and he was like, your favorite slasher got thrown in here, that year, and it's clear they didn't want to do it, and they threw it in there, and then it was Chucky Ultimate Kill Count, and now his favorite slasher is Jason. He's like, they're about to do the same thing to me, man. What the hell? And so I just have I'm a little worried, but I also just have so much homework to do on this property, and so much I need to watch and consume to even feel a lot of hype for it. So that's, so I'm hopeful. I am hopeful for this, that
Hmm.
it's just my head being my head about this.
Don't project your Chucky issues onto us Jason fans, Jonathan.
That's true.
Stay in
That's
your
true.
lane.
And I
We'll
will
see.
say, there's no way the A&D team outright would just reject Jason.
No.
There's no
No.
way. I don't think it's like a we don't want him situation at all. I think at the end of the day, something has to go in Fast and Furious, and they design houses that they think will fit well in spaces, and this is what ended up there.
Hmm.
Because honestly, if we look at all of the rumored and announced IPs this year, you could argue that all of them need like soundstage side spaces. So
Yeah.
something can't end up in. I mean, I guess technically everything could end up in a soundstage, but originals need that space too. So um, I think there's no way that they're just like, oh, well, we didn't want him, so toss it in Fast and Furious. This is
No.
a property they haven't done in a while. Most people on A&D haven't touched ever. So I think they're probably pretty excited, if anything.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
And I feel like Fast and Furious, like when you look at all the IPs, like you said, Duff, it, Jason is just in a forest. Respectfully, he does not need that much space.
Would I
Like,
love to
Compared
be
to the
immersed
others.
in a huge scale forest? Yes, I
yeah,
would. Is it more important than getting like a full pizzeria for Freddy Fazbear? No.
no, it's Jason, and he like if the person with a Jason Voorhees tattoo is saying he can go in Fast and Furious, I feel like that's okay. It just I respect everybody's opinions, but I just don't see a forest needing a soundstage. It'd be great. We've seen it in Yeti, but that's also
Mm,
been like the perfect forest setting for me. So I don't need to see it.
Hmm.
I need to see
true.
Jason and his kills. So if it is Jason Ultimate Kill Count, I just hope it's good.
Hmm.
That's I think it. I don't know. I'm just being optimistic right now. But also, he hasn't been at the event on his own since 2007 in Orlando,
Yep.
and I've never seen him at all. So I'm
That's
just
true. I forgot it's been so long.
yeah. Same with like Freddie has not been at the event in that long by himself. They've been together.
They've shared the same last years they've done.
Yep. And I am very happy I missed that because I don't think I would have loved that. So I'm happy I get my own Jason house.
Mm.
I just hope it's good.
His own universe.
Oh,
Ugh.
shut up, Jonathan.
1-3. So before we get into some of the other details we have through Meridian construction, we did have one more piece of the announcement itself, and that, of course, is the merchandise that releases with it. As expected, we get a T-shirt, which I don't know how I feel about it, to be completely honest. It's decent enough, but basically, it is a black T-shirt. It does have the front pocket design, which I'm always a fan of. I think that's a great way to make an HHN house shirt or just shirt in general. It has like a modified version of the Jason Universe logo where it's in that font where it's Jason, but the O is his mask. Kind of cool, to be fair. And then has the Horror Nights 2025 logo under it. And on the backside, it is basically that model of Jason that we've seen put out for Jason Universe, but in like a red forest with blood dripping.
Yep.
It's
He has hair in it.
yeah.
What?
He
Yeah,
has
on
hair.
the shirt.
It's
like-
currently on my body, but I would not be able to see that. So I guess I got to take it off when we're done and look. I did not notice that. He has little tufts of hair. He's deformed.
Yeah, well, I will say on the shirt design, it definitely looks like he has almost more like a full head of hair. It's kind of
Oh,
strange.
is it hot Jason now? Is Jason Universe just like sexy Jason?
Maybe. I don't know
Ooh.
because the main one doesn't look like that,
No.
and he has like the patches instead. But on this shirt, kind of goes around his head completely.
Oh, I'm
That-
really gonna have to go look at that.
That's the story of his house. Of this house, he starts off with hair, and then by the end of the house, he has no hair.
Oh no.
Or is it the opposite and he got Rogaine?
Oh,
Oh,
that's true.
he got skin grafts and he, he went over to what do you go to Turkey for hair plugs?
Yep, exactly.
It's just his flight over and his flight back and the recovery.
But I think overall it's a pretty decent design. Nothing that blows my mind.
It's fine.
It's good enough for like preview merch.
Mm.
I'm excited to see what else we get. I will say my compliment to the merch team was very short-lived about incorporating Halloween Horror Nights into the announcement merch. It's just slapped under the pocket like you said, and
Mhm.
I liked it how it was with Fallout much more.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm
Although I
not
think
really-
Jonathan fully disagrees.
Yeah, I do not like the Halloween Horror Nights and the nuke. I just like on that's the one thing that stopped me from getting the shirt. Because it just feels so like it doesn't belong there. Like it doesn't. It just It feels out of place to me. I would have loved it like on the sleeve, but that's very much a personal thing, and it just varies depending on what you're looking for.
Gotcha.
It's just something that did not hit with me.
Mhm. Uh, Also released with the shirt is going to be a mug. It is a black mug, and there's a name for this style where it kind of has like the not polka dots, but like splatter, like paint splatter, like white paint splatter going up it. Very popular at like breweries and stuff. But anyways, and then it has that same design that's on the back of the shirt on it as well.
Isn't it like a camp style cup?
I
Yes,
think so.
Yeah.
yes.
Like imagining
I
things.
can't.
I looked at it very quickly.
There's a specific name and I cannot think of it,
Oh,
but yes, it's like for like camping type stuff, which makes a ton of sense, obviously, at the summer camp.
Yes,
the summer
the
camp.
summer camp.
Um, Decent enough mug. Can't complain about it too much. And then also, of course, we do get our next piece for the stained glass frame, which is Jason. And this one is not the Jason on the shirt. This is Jason with splotches of hair and not a full head of hair. It's literally just like the main Jason universe design Jason.
And it looks so good on the actual stained glass window.
It does.
Like I think the merch in general. First of all, I do think if we're comparing last year's preview merch, this still like this shirt and this design, even if it's not my thing, is miles better
Mhm.
than what we've gotten in previous years for preview merch. Like I think it's very good. Not my thing, but it's still very well done. But yeah, this Jason and the way he looks on the stained glass window is my favorite piece of merch from this Jason preview thing that we got, because it just looks gorgeous on it, and it fits perfectly with the ghoul. Like they're different properties, but they almost feel like similar enough that it fits all
Mhm.
together so far.
Mhm.
It always felt like previously that preview merch, it just looked like preview merch. Like it looked cheaper than what you'd see at the event. And that doesn't feel like that's the case this year. This feels like event merch before the event starts. That's it.
Yep.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Oh,
So
I love this frame. This puzzle thing. I got two of my men on there. I just need a WWE, and then I don't need anything else.
That's it.
I know there's two more
completionist.
after that.
You know
I
you
know
are.
I'm getting the other ones. I got two Jasons this week, y'all. I didn't even go to
You
the
did. You did.
park. People just knew. Well, thanks, Stuff. You got one.
We also have a deal.
We do have a deal, so I have to be at the park. I told Eugene, I said, I don't know if something's happening this week, but we have to be ready in case it does.
It's possible.
And he went, oh no. I said,
Although,
well,
to be fair, it's probably an original because it's Spooky Empire.
yeah, exactly. So, but I told him, I said, just be prepared.
Anything else about the merch?
Was there a candle? Wasn't there? Oh no, the candle was for
No.
the Never Go Alone. Okay.
No. About merch. However, everything from Fallout has either not been sold out or has been restocked. Mainly that ghoul piece for the frame has been fully restocked. The frames are actually sold out for a while too. Also were restocked. So don't worry, they are still
Good.
selling all of it.
Yeah.
And
The
they're
thing
not
is,
online, but you can call. Sorry to order them.
Yep.
oh, that's good. I didn't even know that. But I figured, I was kind of worried that they weren't going to restock the puzzle pieces because, like, well, you had to be there for the announcement or else you didn't collect it. You didn't, oh well. But also from merchandise perspective, if you don't have a piece of it and the next announcement happens, I think a lot of people, I think like people like myself, like, well, I missed one and I can't get it. So I'm not going to get the stained glass window or the other puzzle pieces because
Mhm.
I can't finish it. So why would I do that?
Mhm.
They want people finishing it and getting more of the stained glass windows, and they don't want people to just be like, well, I didn't get the first one. I'm
Yeah,
not getting any more.
makes
No money
sense.
for you.
Yeah.
I still expect it to be more of a preview merch thing, and
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there might be enough stock where it carries into the event a bit, but I bet it's ordered just enough to get them through this preview season, and then it's probably gone.
That's what I think. I think the actual stained glass puzzle piece thing is just for preview.
Mhm.
But we talked about it. It's still the best piece of preview merch they've had ever.
Oh yeah, for sure. So with that, let's hop into some more details we have about Friday the 13th. First, what we get through construction. So if we go over to Orlando, BioReconstruct has finally got some more overhead shots of the Fast and Furious location, where we'd previously seen the yellow Volkswagen Beetle. That was from Friday the 13th 3D, I believe, right?
Yes.
Um, it's still out there. It looks like it's actually probably set up a bit more appropriately to where it will be in line with the house itself. And it looks like right next to that, there's the facade of Jason's shack or a shack of some sort being built next to it. And it also has this kind of like lined path area as well. So we're going to see if that's truly our path, because when you look at it, it's kind of confusing how to get you where you need to go. So we'll see.
Yeah. Our Discord mod Alex actually had a picture that Jess put on the recent TikTok we posted, and that was all about like all the information we know so far about Jason, and the picture is he put a sort of put a green line for where we usually exited for Chucky, to where where it is now, where it looks like we're entering the tent, and it's a huge area. I don't think what we see now is all we're going to see in this space. I think they're going to add more things, more either set pieces or whatever they can in this space. And if they do, if the path is correct, this is going to be the biggest this outside portion has ever been, since we started with the Blumhouse. So that's going to make for a very interesting house, especially when it rains.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it's
I-
huge.
That concern will not stop
No.
because there's actually going to be real like sets out here.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like Chucky, where you just kind of wandered through, or Blumhouse, and it was just like quick little corner that you got through. This is like an actual outdoor portion of the house fully.
I wonder if, I don't know if this is feasible, but like, could they in theory do, like how sometimes you see those like triangle tarps over things to like help with rain, and it's not
Mhm.
going to fully block out the rain, but like maybe they could be strategic with those and like have it like drain out into certain areas so it doesn't cause flooding. I don't know.
I will say, if I expect the whole part of this is that you're going to be outside, and you can't really put anything overhead, otherwise it's going to ruin that real fast.
That's fair. Well, it rains in the wilderness, so
But I'd say the only props you're going to get probably are because it's going to be something like a car, a shack, and some like fake trees. So stuff that
yeah.
can survive that weather.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Us, on the other
tough.
hand, not as enjoyable.
You can't open an umbrella out there.
Oh
They
no,
won't let you.
no.
And then no scare actors. This is gonna be interesting.
Hmm.
This isn't like losing one scare actor like it was in Chucky.
No, yeah,
This
you'd have
is-
to lose everything in the outdoor portion, which, as Jonathan was saying, very large this year. So I'd expect, I don't know, what minimum of 3, probably in a
At
space like that.
least. I would hope that this would be like, honestly, at first when I saw how big this was, I was hoping that Alex was wrong and like they would find a way to like snake it and make it like even longer outside. I just don't know how, but I I was hoping like this is gonna be like a pinball, like run you through
Mm,
it in case it is raining, and then they're like, move, move, move.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it's utilized. I'm sure we'll get more photos before we actually walk through it. So
Mm-hmm.
keep going by Reconstruct. Thank you.
We actually have Orlando construction we can see. That's so cool. Like not just like, oh, there's a tent, that's it.
Mhm.
Like there's a scene that we can see from overhead. And
The
that's
prop.
yeah, like we don't that's rare for Orlando. Most we get are a couple of facades and that tents were put up. But this is quite a bit more than we're used to.
And I will say, we can see it from overhead, but you can also see something from the ground now. You could see something going vertical. It looks like it's just behind the tent, um, and taller than the tent as well.
That's
Oh,
true.
So there is something you can see from the ground too.
interesting. Do you want me to talk about that other bioreconstruct photo really fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
So, right after he posted the construction for the Fast and Furious, he also posted over behind Fallon, the construction that's going on, I guess for Rip Ride Rocket, where the parking lot is, where the queues normally are for the sound stages back there. There is no more parking lot. It is just fully like red dirt, and they're doing ongoing construction, and all of the trailers are moved as well over even farther. So we already kind of knew this based on the construction wall that went up and like what we've been hearing, but we're going to be entering those sound stages from a completely different entrance this year.
Yeah, not only entering, but also queuing in a
Exiting,
completely different
yeah.
space. I
Sound
think
stages are going to be weird.
the space, once you reach undercover, like kind of all between the sound stages, that's obviously going to be heavy utilized. And I'd assume the only other way to go is back, like towards Islands of Adventure from there. Like
Mhm.
that's it. That's the only other space they have.
Yeah, that's going to be like the hub, that whole backstage area for everything.
Yeah, because you would literally have to have with the construction walls and with Rip Ride Rocket closing. There's not going to be anywhere up front to enter for 5 houses.
No.
Jesus.
Like
And
that's it. You
big.
have to like find something that goes around, and that's the only place there's additional space. That's literally it.
It's going to be like the shared years, which I obviously never went to, but that's what it was. It's
Mhm.
going to be weird. I hope that there's bathrooms that they put back there. I hope that we get food back there. Like, and I hope that it's like once you're back there, it's kind of like the new tents where you can do multiple houses without having to like
Go all the
hoof
way.
it
I mean,
all the
I don't know that they can send you all the way back. Honestly, it might
way.
have to
Right.
be a like little hub area completely, where you just kind
That
of
could
go
be
in, you
done.
exit there, and you get to choose if you want to go back into a house or not.
Yeah.
Because
Like that
once you're
might be
back there,
really
you're
good.
you're back there.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting year. Honestly though, that doesn't. The queues kind of sound like hell, but I kind of like that idea of exiting a house but not having to go right back in the park and just being able to do another
Mm-hmm.
house, especially for
Hmm.
like stay and screen purposes. If a couple of those are open or whatnot, you just do a house and go right into the next one, and try to hit as many as possible without even having to do the whole loop around. If that's possible, that would be really good for stay and scream.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Stay and Scream, with the rumors that Stay and Scream will be altered, and kind of imagining what the queue space could look like. With day guests, they can't just start setting up the stanchions for us to wait in. So maybe you'll be back there completely, if you
Oh,
want to be inside the pens and holding areas,
Oh,
probably, yeah.
because you can't do it inside the park while day guests are there.
Also, how does this affect the tribute store? I haven't
Uh,
seen the walls in person, so I don't know if it's blocking that
it it
exit.
is it is not, because the
Okay.
like it's not as much space as you'd want probably for that kind of traffic. But between like the subway entrance and the wall, that side's open, so you can still walk there.
Okay. So maybe you just wouldn't be able to have like if there is a line, which I don't really think there ever was
No,
for the tribute
typically
store.
only like before the event opens, like
Yeah.
those first couple days they open the tribute store, or like random really busy nights.
So they could. I hope it doesn't affect that because I don't like the tribute stores in Hollywood, and I don't think that'll ever work for horror nights.
No.
So, and I also don't see it ever being when they use less of the space for the tribute store in New York, and you entered and exited in the same door. That will never work again either.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Well, a lot about ops that we are. I don't want to say concerned about. I think it's kind of exciting to see how it's utilized. And again,
Hmm.
if it's a hub area, we love it for the new sprungs. So could work out. But I think that's kind of it on the construction side, right?
for
For
Orlando.
Orlando, for Orlando, yes.
But we are going to take a trip out to HHN Hollywood once again, because we have that one little thing we weren't talking about in the construction segment for Hollywood, and that we held the mummy queue till later for this particular segment. Not only because we think, and Kevin thinks, or we talked about it a while ago, that this is for the Jason house. But John Murdy also has confirmed that this house will be located in the Mummy Q. So from what we can see now on the facade, it's very clearly a shack at this point. The detailing is there. There's no hiding it. We knew before the announcement even happened. So it's kind of clear now that Kevin's theory that the facade was an original take on Jason Shack is 100% correct at this point, and he got it. Look at that.
Wow, he got something. Who would have thought?
And Kevin, we trust.
Exactly. So that's at this point. While Scarecrow and Poltergeist aren't confirmed, they're 100% confirmed. So that's three. We're gonna say that's three confirmations so far. We know the other ones are probably, most of them are probably right, but I'd say if we want to say like things that we're 100%, certain on, he's got three so far this year.
Yeah, easily.
Look at that.
Oh, Kevin, we appreciate you. But what do you think about that as a facade? I think that's a very fun starting point for anything Jason related. And as we know, it does have that kind of side actor door as well. So we should have um, a scare actor or Barker of some sort out there interacting with us.
Yeah. I'm not super into the franchise, so I can't say how interested I am in terms of like from a movie standpoint. But from just a facade standpoint, I think it's a great start. I think starting there and having someone outside and having maybe like a woods background and some trees around, it could just be a nice way to set up how we are stumbling across this place in the woods, and because of this we're about to face Jason. But so like from a story standpoint, I think that's fun. It just feels like we're victims and we're, oh, what's this place? And we find out later what it is and why we shouldn't have gone in there.
Yeah, I hope that there still is a shrine though. Like I hope that that's like we're entering his shack. I'm gonna call it his cabin. I don't like calling it a shack. I don't know why it just bothers me. We're walking into his cabin. I want to see at least like an Easter egg to the shrine. Like I know we can't use Pamela, but like I want them to set the scene and then boom, Jason's mad that we're there, and now here's every Jason that ever lived.
Yep.
Mhm.
He just he gets angry. So this is it's just you see his face. He goes, "Arr," and then he just multiplies, just like divides
Yeah.
himself into all the different Jasons.
Exactly. That's what I want. And aggressive, especially in Hollywood. They were really good at that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But it also kind of confirms that we're going different routes if the outside portion in our house looks like his shack or a shack or whatever. I feel like Orlando isn't going to start there, and they're going to start somewhere else. So we're already seeing sort of major differences between Hollywood's coast and Hollywood's house and Orlando's house.
Mhm. Which is
Yeah.
exactly how we want it as people who visit both coasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I hope that Orlando's because they always do that kind of like, well, not last year because we didn't use the same like route for the house, but they always do that like projection. So I kind of hope it's like almost stepping into the Jason universe, like all his best kills and like set it up like that, not like Chucky Ultimate Kill Count. That's not what I mean.
No, no.
But like set it up and then we're like stepping into it and then it's like a pinball inside of just getting attacked by Jason and then like, oh shit, now we're outside. And now here, let's go see other scenes in the tent from the films.
You mean
That would work really
you
well.
don't want Jason just narrating it while mumbling?
Yeah, well, Jason doesn't talk, so it would never work.
Oh,
Exactly.
Don't fuck with me. No,
he doesn't even talk that much.
he
No, he
doesn't
doesn't say
know.
anything. No. He's, I will say, we won't. I don't. Oh, maybe we will get like a burnt Jason, because that's like one of the most iconic scenes in the whole franchise is when Kane Hodder does the really long fire stunt. I know we won't get fired, but like maybe we'll get a burnt Jason. All I want to talk about is the Jasons I want to see in the house, but we have months to do that. So
Yes, we do. Barely. It's almost
I
2.
know.
Almost just at 2. We're very
It's
close.
crazy. It's 70 something days. I have my countdown.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, we're there. We're not there. We're almost there.
We're
Feels
close
like,
though.
it
We're
feels
to
like
the
we're there.
time of year where it's like it's exciting. Anyways, we're getting
Yeah.
the announcements. The construction is going to start in the streets, and like it's going to feel like it's kind of happening already.
It already does, to me at least.
So like once we hit like June and this shit starts, it's kind of like already, all right, it's already HHN. Not the best part of it, but it's already part of it.
Mhm.
But John Murdy did give us more than confirmation of a house location. He gave us a.
Murdy tweet. Murdy tweet.
I was hoping you'd catch on. I wasn't sure if that I was leading in well
good.
enough.
Ooh. And we've been doing this
Very
long enough.
nice. Very nice. It's really simple and it adds on to the house. Again, he's busy and traveling, but he added, it's a new story, but lots of Easter eggs of famous kills.
Good.
Yeah.
I want sleeping bag. Jason, just boom, boom. Okay. I'm done. I'm done.
I mean, basically what we'd heard from the blurbs and the interviews and everything. So not surprising in the least, but kind of confirming on the Hollywood side that's what we're getting as well.
Yeah. Are this quote made me question the meaning of Easter eggs, like the definition of it. Because like if they just have the kill, is it like an Easter egg or
No.
just the kill?
I think he's using the term Easter egg very loosely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the term Easter egg has just kind of been drawn out in general, like what its definition is.
Hmm.
So yeah.
That's a good point.
I am interested in new story, and I wonder how much story will be involved in this.
Yeah, I wonder that too. I kind of hope it's. I know you guys didn't really like it, but I kind of hope it's like Legacy of Leatherface, where there is sort of like, you know, a cool, interesting story behind it. That's completely original and sort of explains why we might possibly, if depending on which quote from the people we talked about, we believe. I personally am hoping in the first quote that maybe there's more than one Jason. Maybe there's a sort of explanation for that or something, but I don't know. I'm excited for what story they're gonna tell for this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be fun.
And I think that's basically everything we got about Jason Universe coming to Halloween Horror Nights. And
I hate the name.
it's so bad. It's so bad.
Yoon 1 ver 3 or
My phone is already like auto correcting universe to that, which that just goes
Ew.
to tell you how annoying it is.
Ew.
I hate it. Because every caption I've had to post.
Yeah, that's true. Gross.
I hate it.
Well, which one are we going to mostly use? Because technically, the website or like the description just says Jason Universe. It doesn't
Mhm.
use the 1 and 3.
Oh.
So, but it's just the images that have the 1 and 3 in it. Murdy used the 1-3 version in his little tweet, but most of the press releases are just using the word universe and not trying to play that game.
Call me crazy, but I think I agree with John Murdy for once.
Ooh.
Look at that.
I think the 13 in it is like the only fun thing about Jason Universe.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, this press releases and shit like that, it doesn't need to be fun. Just say universe.
That's
Just say it.
I will be typing it 1-3 now because my phone does it for me.
Fair.
There you go.
Fair.
That's my outlook on all of this.
Well, do we have anything else about Jason or anything that we talked on today's episode before we start wrapping up here?
I have homework to do.
Yeah,
Yes, you do.
So much homework.
A lot of homework.
More
I think
than I do.
you are going to enjoy a lot of it because a lot of it is you're going to think it's like dumb
So-
funny.
It's campy. That's why I like it.
And I wanted to get my fears out now before watching Jason because I want to see how it shifts right when I watch it. Because like this is just straight up like I don't know much. All I know is that slashers aren't usually my thing. And so this is like before watching Jason Jonathan. And then later, we got a couple episodes to go before I watch what I need to watch because there's so much. But once I do the homework, I'm gonna come back and you're gonna watch me. I'm gonna brighten up and be like, "This is my I'm so excited," and it's all gonna change. Just watch.
You're gonna get a tattoo.
Maybe I don't know. Probably not, but we'll see.
I know. But no, I think Jason's a good one for you because he is silly.
That is good.
He is. He is.
That's why I like him. He's just a big goofy guy. He really is.
Goofy guy.
All
And
right,
then
we got voicemails.
perfect.
HHN 365, what's happening? This is Evil Adams from Blood and Guts, HHN on YouTube. How's it going? Just calling to get your opinion. What do you think about the supposed Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th house? Do you think we're going to get a greatest hits, greatest kills, full Monty Jason from 2 through 12, or are we going to get this revamped version of Jason? It kind of looks like a character, at your local haunt, local corn maze, trying to play Jason. But we're hoping it's the greatest hits, greatest kills house. Hopefully we get an announcement Friday the 13th. Anyway, guys, keep up the good work. Love the show. Stay spooky.
Oh, thanks for calling in. And you know what? That lines up perfectly with everything we've discussed today, too. I guess, yeah, definitely greatest hits, right? Like, that's going to happen. We're going to see the best of. However, I think our potential concern, I don't know if it's really based off anything foundational or we're just worried because we naturally are, is that they somehow cram in this new design even while looking back at his past kills.
Yeah. Everything you said. I hope it's a greatest hits. Greatest hits is obviously what I'm gonna be asking for until we find out what it is, and then if it's not, I'm probably gonna bitch about it. But it's Jason. I think that they're gonna do the 2 through 12, 10 designs. I can never fucking remember. They're gonna do what they can, and I hope that we get to see every single one, including video game Jason.
Ooh.
Oh, that would be cool.
Ooh.
I will squeal if he's in there. That one means so much to me.
Which video game? There was
The
a
Nintendo, like the
couple.
old like blue purple Jason. I want to see like a cool reimagined of that.
Purple Jason? That would be
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm down.
He's silly, but I mean, also I know he's been in like what I'm gonna. I don't know. He's been in all of those like fighting games too. So
Mm.
I'm so uneducated on those, but
Yeah. I'm also hoping for if you're gonna say we're doing all the kills and all this, then I want to see all the Jasons. I think that's what can really make this house interesting. And we're in a Fast and Furious is a tight space, and I think the main antagonist and probably the only antagonist we're gonna see in this house is Jason. So if you're gonna have a bunch of people, as the same character coming at me, it'd be cool if at least they were dressed differently
yeah,
in
Mhm.
different masks, and so that you help with the variety instead of just like it would be Jason, 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 but it's better than the one design, than having the one design. If they're all different costumes, then it sort of feels like different characters in a way, and so it helps with variety because I think this house in the space kind of needs it.
Mhm.
that was the best part of Legacy of Leatherface.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Honestly. And realistically, that's what we're going to see. We're just a little worried because we get worried, and that's all. That's all.
That's their job. We have
That's
to
all.
look at both sides,
But I bet we are going to see a variety of Jasons.
Probably.
But thank you for your voicemail. We have one more.
Hey guys, this is Matt in Cleveland. It's hard for me to imagine a Fallout house without any death claws or super mutants. That's my first gripe. Sure, it'll be fine, but very hard to picture. Second, HHN is starting to really piss me off. We progressed now to 10 houses. I feel like we should be at like 3 shows minimum. Way more food options, way more drink options. It should be expanding a little bit within the park. Throw another scare zone in. Getting a little ridiculous with how much we keep losing. I feel like. That's all. Bye.
Thanks for the voicemail, Matt. To the first point about Fallout, I mean, I guess yeah, we're all kind of hoping they can somehow pull from the games, even though we expect that it's probably just what we see in the TV series, because it would add a lot of variety to what characters are available. But yeah, yeah, we'll see, we'll see. I don't know if I'm as hopeful about that as I am about getting different Jasons.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
I wasn't even thinking about because I'm not a fan. I don't play the games. I probably would be if I did, but I just don't have time right now. But I wasn't even thinking about like, even though this is technically it's a TV show house, but also based on a video game, so it's catering to both crowds. I wasn't thinking about how specifically the video game fans, like not just from like a horror perspective, because like I was thinking it in terms of like scares and variety, but like how people who are fans of the games would probably be very upset if those creatures that probably were in a lot of the games, if not most of them, were not featured if they're so prominent. How it's not just like disappointing from a scary perspective, but disappointing from just a fan perspective of something that was so tied to the games not being featured at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that either. Wow.
I, we just don't know what the rates look like. Really, is what it comes down to. And so we're gonna hope for the best, and
Yep.
they get both spectrums.
Yeah, we're gonna be hopeful. But now your second point, Matt, I'm with you. We should have at least 11 houses. We should have 5 shows. Like it feels like we've lost a lot of things, and then prices going up and up and up and up. And then I also feel like even we've gotten better food options, but there should be more. If we can't put anything in Simpsons, put pop-up tents like everywhere you can. So I'm with you. I think that they need to offer more to spread these crowds out. And I don't think that they've done a really good job in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, you go back to all the way to 2018, and we've literally lost options of what to do, aka an additional show last year, um, and honestly, a scare zone. If we're being completely honest, so hopefully this year they rectify that, and we're at least back to our 10-5-2. But yeah, I think we probably should have scaled up a little bit by now. I'm sure they'll say COVID got in the way of things, but I think we're enough removed where you guys are bringing in the money again, and we can start getting back to where we should be, and elevating the event even further.
Yeah. Completely agree with both of you guys. We should be getting more.
That is all the voicemails we have.
Perfect. So with that, I guess we will wrap up this episode. So remember, you can follow us on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365. Our TikTok at HHN365pod. Join our Discord server to discuss the event year-round. That link will be in the description. Check out our merch shop at hhn365.com. And if you also want to leave a voicemail and be on the show, that is 407-906-4134. And that's all for this week, and we will see you in the streets.